All right, welcome everyone. We're back live Zenith Online Racing, round 5 of Tier 1. We are still in Italy. This time out we are at Imola, legendary track for F1 for a lot of good reasons and a lot of bad reasons as well. Mainly 2 bad reasons that happened in the same weekend, but obviously lots of good memories here as well for the sport. And the Zenith Online Racing tackling Imola today. I'm Art Biga. GP will be joining me shortly. My voice is on its last legs right now. I did a lot of screaming and yelling at the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday. Lots of cheering, lots of me trying to get the crowd amped up, trying to get the crowd into the game, trying to support the team, and yeah, just pretty much the only guy that was putting any effort in, so I'm paying for it today. Kind of forgot I have a whole racing broadcast career to worry about while I was destroying my vocal cords screaming at the top of my lungs yesterday. Got some ice water to sip on for now, and we'll get the wine. We'll get the wine in there in a little bit, so I make sure the whistle's nice and wet early in the session. All right, just watching Sam move around the circuit right now. Looks like we have is it Gord or Private that's out front? I believe it's Gord is the first driver out. Yes, he is. Gord is going to be our first hot lap. Let's get on board with Gord. So I'm not terribly familiar with this track. I know we've done it a couple times in the last few seasons. I haven't spent a ton of time on it. I definitely remember most of it, oddly enough, from like back in the day. You know, playing like old PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 F1 games. But I haven't spent a lot of time with the modern version of it, so couldn't tell you where the tricky corners are or anything like that. Not really sure like where drivers struggle or like what's weird. Probably be able to tell by just the way people are handling the cars and whatnot. Be a good indicator for me on what's a tricky corner or maybe just the approach and stuff like that. But did you get into the lobby yet, GP?
Yes, I am just about in now.
Okay, perfect. And I need you to talk as much as your little heart desires tonight, and I'll just sit here quietly because I ain't got much left in the tank for this.
All right, I'll do my best.
Yeah, the voice is, I don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm a little sheepish with the vocal cords today.
I just can't. A lot of people out there.
I had to yell at all the baseball fans that weren't cheering for the team yesterday, so it was bad. Yeah. I was trying the Let's Go Blue Jays chant. I kept trying to get it going, and people just weren't buying it, man. And we were in a really tight game. Like, you know, it was back and forth and extra innings, and man, what a weak-ass crowd. I was so pissed. All that screaming nearly lost my voice, and they just lost the game anyway. I said it was everyone's fault when we lost. I was like, it's all your fault, you guys.
Of course.
For not cheering hard enough, man. Alright, who do we got? Let's see if we can get another driver on a flyer here. Spin and win. Spin and win, just about to wrap up a lap.
Oops. Imola?
Imola, yeah. Spin and win on to provisional pole is 2/10 up on Jinnit. Say literally 7 thousandths off Jinnit, so I have a feeling we're going to be seeing those two racing each
Oh
other
boy, yes sir.
yet again.
Why not?
Yeah, it was just I honestly, it was just like, I don't know, man, just having a good time and trying to get the crowd going and
All by yourself.
pretty much, yep. And man, I woke up this morning and I was like, oh my god, my voice is just shot. Like, I've been nursing it
Oh
all
my
day, like
God.
just. So most of the like scratchy dryness is gone, but it's still pretty. Just feels weak. Like if I talk too loudly, I'll have to clear my throat a whole bunch. You know.
All right, let's see. Spin and win. All right, I'm on board now. Let's see. Let me get my stuff together.
I was just watching Lunar, but he's invalidated, so I'm trying to find another driver. Carson going slow. He's not really pushing. We got a few guys leaving the pit lane right now.
Alright, let's see. Sam's on an out lap. Anybody on a hot lap? Nope. Nope, not Carson. Well, I'm just going to stick with our good buddy Damn Sam. Sam the man, Damn Sam.
He's on the out lap, right? So, I gotta say, this track, I'm not sure what it is today, but visually, just very nice looking compared to some of the other circuits we're at. Like, just watching the Mercedes come down some of these, like, iconic parts of the track, you know, like this main straight in the pit lane is so familiar to old F1 fans, and obviously this corner here where Russell and Bottas had that big crash.
The Senna chicane.
Yeah, that too. That chicane didn't exist before the crash, eh?
So, good job, Sam. Nice.
Is that what all the older guys call the chicanes they put in after his death, all Senna chicane?
Oh, what?
Well, they put a lot of chicanes in to slow down the cars in certain high-speed corners after Senna died, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, when that was awful.
I can't imagine. I mean, I was a little kid. I remember like my dad used to watch F1, and I would, obviously get up, and he was always up early watching F1, so I'd come downstairs, and I remember that day. Obviously, didn't really understand the magnitude of it until I got a little older,
Right.
but I do remember him saying something bad happened to Senna, and I was like, oh, because I loved, obviously, my dad loved Senna, so I love Senna because I was a little 4-year-old kid, right? So.
Yeah, he was. It just sucked. You could tell too because there was this helicopter view looking down after he crashed, and I could see his head, like I say, it was moving involuntarily. It was, just kind of a little hiccup, and his head was moving, bobbling a little bit, and that is not good.
Mm-hmm.
And, so what they did was, I think, that's when they added the tethers, or they improved the tethers so that the tires didn't come off, because that's what happened when you hit the wall.
Yeah.
Tire hit him in the head.
Well, I think it was the suspension. I thought it was the suspension arm that went through his visor or something, right?
Yeah, that it was. I believe it's because it was still attached to the tire.
Okay.
And I'd heard that too. I know the tire hit him. And I heard exactly what you heard. That there was a hole in his helmet or visor, like the hole from the strut or whatever you want to call it.
Like the arm, the suspension arm, essentially. Yeah. One of the pull rods or whatever. Yeah, I mean, basically just a freak accident, right? And that's also the reason that the cars are, back in the day, you could see the driver's arms and their shoulders, and now you really only just see their head, right? So,
yeah.
that was another...
I mean, I understand all the safety shit, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't do what they've done. It just, the element of risk can be mitigated, but not to the point where it's like, you know, they're in a bubble wrap or whatever, because I don't know, I think that if the drivers are well protected, then the guys that are braver don't have the advantage anymore. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you know, you can be a great driver, but if you're a little timid, just a little bit, that could be, you know, half a second, a tenth, whatever it is, and if you feel so protected that, I don't know, to me it just takes away that risk element.
Yeah, like, you know, going flat out through, I mean, 130R is a bit of a joke now, but that was a corner where, like you said, where, you know, my shoulders and neck and head are exposed, and I don't get this corner right, I'm in the wall. Well, it's a little less of a problem nowadays. Like, you're more likely to take that corner flat out because you have a halo, you have your shoulders protected. You know, there's a lot of protection on the car. So I think the halo is a good sort of compromise to keep the car open.
I think that's fine, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen it save plenty of drivers from, at minimum, injury, if not death. So, you know, for that simple reason, I think all the safety improvements are warranted. I'm not a huge fan of the aero screen in IndyCar. I don't like the look of that. It's aesthetic. Yeah. It's not aesthetically pleasing, just because it does, like you said, look like they're in a bubble.
It's just, you know, again, I mean, when I was a kid growing up watching racing, it was dangerous.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's still dangerous, but back then it was, you know, it was really dangerous. And, you know, that was, not that you wanted to ever see anybody die, but you never knew what you were going to see.
Right.
All right, well, as we were chatting, Say decided to go 3.5 tenths faster than Spin and Win.
Spin and win, yep.
So, and Jennett just came in, so Jennett's...
everybody else in the pits, too, mainly, except for a few guys on outlaps.
Who's the furthest? So Sam is about ready to start his next to last or last qualifying attempt.
All right, let's get on board with Sam. He'll take us around a lap of Imola. I think we've had enough nostalgia chat for the time being.
Oh, nice. He was able to get on the throttle really quickly there.
Yeah, he nailed that. Little deep there. Missed that apex.
Yeah. That was good. I feel like a lot of times if you hit that inside curb, at least in the seasons, the previous renditions of this game, you could really lose it.
Oh! No, not invalid.
Lost a lot of time, though.
Yeah. I'll say this sector is probably the trickiest. Would you agree with that, sector 2?
Yes, that especially that right-hander uphill with the quick, you know, left after approaching that the last chicane. The cars are handling so much better though than they were in the previous game, and so I don't think that we're going to see as many guys spinning out over there as we have in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've even seen a yellow flag yet this session. So that's good. Sam bailed on that lap, eh?
Yep. And Carson's on a hot lap here, I believe. He just started it. And it seems like he's pushing, and he did well going through there. Carson currently about 4
He's backed out of...
Oh, he's backed
Carson?
out, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say he's backed out of it, it looks like. Looks like he got some pickup on his left tire as well. Did he have a moment? Or?
So Spin and Win apparently is starting his hot lap. Currently sitting P2. Only, what, a tenth and a half?
Yeah, he's not far off. I mean, I remember early in the season when he first raced, I was saying he might be the one that kind of like shake things up between Sage and maybe got a third party in there mixing it up with them.
Yeah, and it looks like that is the case, huh?
It appears so.
Ooh, he did not invalidate. Same thing Sam had done. Now this corner right here.
You watching Gord?
No. I'm on spinning one.
I think he may have done his lap already. He had no battery left.
Yeah, and he's 7/10 off, so.
Yeah, I'm watching Gord. Gord is up 8/10 on his previous run. Oh, barely keeps it on the limit there. Yeah, but 8/10 up would put him right where Jinnit is, roughly. So he could be looking up at top 2 start if he can find another couple tenths in this final sector.
Get on the throttle. Yep, he was able to get on the throttle pretty quickly.
Didn't quite get on it as early as he could have, but it was not bad. Definitely just
P3.
barely jumped in it.
Let's see. Lunar seems to be pushing. Oh, a little deep there. He's up a 1/10.5. That would move him to P6 ahead of Adri.
Sorry, for Carson?
I'm on with Lunar Jedi.
Lunar, okay, just jumped on board with him, sorry. I was going to say, our catcher just hit a home run into the second deck, and I was going to say yesterday, Guerrero hit one into the second deck while we were there, so that was cool.
That was close, but well done for Lunar. Coming through that last chicane there, it's so easy to go wide on the exit. And well done through here. This will probably move him up a couple spots. At least. I can put him on the pole.
Wow, look at that. Lunar Jedi up to, and he was having connection issues, I think, or was it private that had?
Say he had to back out. How much time left? I don't think he has enough time to go around again.
No, there's no way. He's done. Let's get on board with Jinnit. Just started his lap.
Yeah, I think he bailed.
Jinnit bailed as well?
Yeah. Oh, actually, wait a second. Now he's... I could have sworn that he was up like freaking 3/10. Down, whatever.
I thought it said... when I got on board with him, it said plus 28, but I was like, well, that can't be right.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So that's what I was seeing. I thought, okay, he's bailed on it. He just cruising around. But, no, he had bettered his time.
Up a 10th. That's not enough, really. Unless he's missing a lot of time in this final sector, and maybe that's where he's going to make it up.
Well, the 10th would be enough to get him to P4. He'd be in the second row.
Man, we might have a really tasty scrap for the win here. This is 5 drivers that are... I mean, Lunar and Gord putting up times that I know they're capable of, but haven't really seen all that much. And now Jinnit puts himself in P4. So, I mean, the top 5 really all pretty close to one another. Like, there's only a little gap between them, so...
Adri's up 3/10, just over 3/10, and he's approaching the last 2 turns. I think he is our last qualifier, too. Oh, nice. He should improve quite a bit. Oh, shoot. I didn't see. 5th, okay. Well, that does it for quali. Lunar Jedi, say 500ths behind. Spin and win in P3 with 2/10 back, 3/10 back for Jinnit. P5 is Adri, 3/10 back. Gord Sauce, 4/10 back in 6th. 7th is Carson, 8th is Sam.
That's pretty nuts, man. The top 7 all within a 10th of each other.
I know.
All the way down.
You got Zemoglis over in P9 and Sniper in 10th. Private Jet Jew 11th. Oh, I gotta advance before I can get to the rest of this. Private 11th, Spot Up in 12th. Oh,
I think it was RC 13th and then Villeneuve at the bottom.
there you go. I really like this track.
Looks like it might rain. I do really like this track as well, especially because it's not like a track I've seen for 10 seasons straight. You know, it's been
Yeah.
sort of a newer one for us, and I don't think we've raced it every season since it was put in the game. So it's definitely something to consider there.
Yeah, it just offers a lot. You got a lot of high, 2 or 3 spots of high speed. Plenty of chicanes that you really have to stay on top of. I really like that corner that we were talking about where it was really easy to spin out. I mean, a couple seasons ago, I remember we were just watching car after car freaking spin out over there.
Yeah, the one that's kind of like you're just cresting at the top of the hill, and then the right is
Yeah.
the right left, and you're starting to come back down again.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I know exactly which one you mean. And it was always that second part. People would kind of get the car going, and once it would start rotating, it would just lose and step
You're
right
all
out
done.
on them.
And oh my God, the game has really improved on that part where you can start to lose the back end of the car, but you have a chance now to recover. The car
Yeah.
wants to recover more or less, which I think that's fantastic. It happened to me once or twice in a race where I thought I was a goner and I
Yeah.
was able to save the car. And it
And
was
I
like,
think
wow, cool.
that's something that pretty much saved the game, in all honesty, because the amount of people that dropped out and didn't want to play after last season just because, like Puff, for example, like Puff was just like, I'm sick of the goddamn game. He's like, I can't, I just keep spinning. It's like I always spin. Even he's like, I'll do the lap the same over and over and over, and I fucking spin again anyway. And he's like, I just can't be bothered anymore. So
Yeah.
the death of Puff, brought on by poor physics. My poor cat hasn't had any treats for a couple days. I just got him some today, so I'm sure he's amped.
Yeah, we've lost Puff. We've lost Doth.
Doth's been gone for a while, though. That was always sort of
Zai. Yeah.
It was always sort of
Zai.
an issue for Doth because of his lawyer job. He just had no bloody time. Now he's touring North America, hitting long drives everywhere.
I know it, right?
Yeah, it's hilarious, man. Follow him on Instagram. So he's like, every week he's in a different town, like doing long drive tournaments, which is, I mean, if I could hit the driver half the distance he could, I'd actually be a half decent golfer. My driving is literally the worst part of my game, and I'm pretty decent at everything else.
All right, formation lap, and you're right. It does. It is overcast. So I don't think has Lunar started front row this season. It's been Seye and Jinnit.
I don't know.
Lunar's.
He's
been up
definitely
there.
He's definitely one of the quicker drivers. Right off the hop. Right off the hop at the start of the season, he looked like he was going to be in the mix. But I don't know if he's missed a couple of races or something. He just hasn't really been like a standout for me lately.
So looking at the tire selection here, everybody is on the mediums with 2 exceptions. Gordsofts in P6 is on the hards, and Spot Up Triples in P12 is also on the hards. Interesting. Now, is that strategizing
Because of
for potential rain?
Yeah. You would think that more people would have taken the hards if they were thinking, hey, it's going to rain lap 10. Might as well get the mediums on. And then there's, of course, Gordon Spot Up maybe gambling on the fact that the rain might not happen, and maybe they go deep and everybody else is on sort of the wrong strategy. The reverse strategy always seems to work better. But you kind of need that outright pace to do it. Like Gord actually belongs probably in the top 4, but just qualified 6th today. So It might work for him, the reverse strat. Could work pretty well. But you got to be rapid on that hard tire in the first part, so.
Yeah, because guys will be behind you looking to get around real quick. And you can't feel too confident on those hards going into the first turn or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And you know you're going to have guys around you, particularly if they see that you're on the hard tires. They're going to try to, put a move on you, knowing that they'll have the grip.
All right, that's it. The grid is reformed. Looks like we're good to go. We have 3, 4, 5 lights on. And we are racing in Imola. I cannot see who got a good start because the camera angle is horrific.
Terrible.
Horrific camera angle. Here we go.
Wow, Say got the jump on Lunar on the inside. Oh my god, guys. Wow.
Everybody threw clean for the most part, it looks like. I don't see anything too rough. No pieces of carbon flying off anyone's car. No, everybody threw clean. It all looks very good. All right. I love when we get through the first few corners, no problems, because then we kind of know we've kept the status quo, and we should get some good racing.
Luna got a little loose coming out of that turn, and now
he's got Jinnit all over him. Nope,
yeah,
and Jinnit.
You had to give that up pretty much. Now, this is the turn that I was referring to here. It was so easy to spin out there.
Okay, yeah. Ooh, major corner cut there from Adri. Oh, no!
Oh, no!
And Spinning Wind's out.
Spinning's out. And so is Adri. And we have a safety car.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
That's too bad. Damn.
Yeah, Spinning Wind, there's not a damn thing he could have done there, but I don't know why Adri ended up in that spot. He cut the chicane, ended up with a penalty, and then lost the car, which is understandable because he's probably lost all his grip. But I mean, Spinning Wind, literally nothing he could do. And now, of course, Adri out because he was stranded on the road. I mean, that sucks for both guys. Spinning Wind did nothing wrong. Adri, had a little spin, but yeah, just couldn't. I mean, once you're stopped in that situation, how do you get the car turned around without causing chaos, right? So I don't think he had much of a choice but to sit there. But you gotta think I don't know what. I think most guys know that the ghosting's off, so I don't think that would have been the issue. I think Spinning Wind maybe just had nowhere to go, or I was always thinking if you're racing in cockpit and you come around a corner when you've been racing really tight with somebody and someone has spun in front of you, there's very slim chance you're going to see that until it's too late. Because your line of sight is just so much more limited, right? When you're sitting on that T-cam view, you can see a little bit ahead as well, so that sucks, man. That's 2 quick guys we've lost early. Spinning Wind could have been challenging for a win here, and he's out of the picture now. And Adri, of course, looking for a good result. He needs a strong result. It looks like he had pace here today, so that's disappointing for both guys in a variety of ways. Yeah, man, just sucks. There's this corner right here, I believe, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the safety car's not coming in this lap. I know it's not been quite a full lap yet, but I mean, the cars were all caught up.
I suppose that's the benefit to having a short track, is that we don't have to sit here for 10 minutes watching a safety car go around Spa once.
So the strategy for those on the medium tires, I mean, they just saved themselves a good lap and a half on these tires.
Yeah.
And I wonder, so I haven't done any practice on this, so I really have no idea of the tire wear, how long these tires will last. But Jinnit in the last couple races, correct me if I'm wrong, certainly one of them, he stretched his tires out to jump onto the softs to finish the race. Do you think that that's something that can happen in this race?
Sorry, what was the...
So Jinnit, at least one race, if not the last 2 races, didn't Jinnit extend his stint on the mediums, and then he went to the softs. Do you foresee anything like that possibly happening here now that we've had a safety car that can you know, protect their tires a little bit here for 2 or 3 laps. Well, 2
Definitely.
laps.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Jinnit on a normal situation. He's a very good, he's a very good racer. And once he gets into the race, it's where he does his damage. Obviously, he's got that pace, but he knows how to make sure his tires get to the end. You know, if he's racing wheel to wheel and he needs clear air to make his strategy work, he'll push and use up tire, battery, whatever, to get himself in a spot where he can now control the pace. And where he gets to a point where he can just kind of manage the gap, that's where he usually will extend. If he's, you know, stuck in a train and he can't get by anybody and he's burning up his tires, then that would be a situation where I would expect him almost to maybe pit early and undercut, but it just never really seems to happen. He's always out front, sort of setting the pace, or at least pushing for the win, so it also doesn't hurt to stay right behind, say, if if you can't get by him, it's not bad to hang out behind and just kind of manage the tires and then just react to whatever he does, right? So.
Yep. I wonder. Oh, and there goes Say.
Say caught Jinnit napping there a little bit. And here comes Carson. Now Carson, I think it's time for redemption for Carson because he's had a lot of good drives and just hasn't quite delivered the result yet. Looks like he is in prime position to do that today, so we'll see if he can convert it. He's had some bad luck, or maybe just involved in got tangled in a collision fighting for a result and just hasn't quite gotten there yet. He's been on the podium a couple times, but I mean, deserved better is what I'm thinking.
So, yeah, Say, boy, he would really like to see Lunar and Carson get up and start hassling Jinnit. I mean, Say's already built up over a second. Well, right at that 1 second mark.
And look at this shot we've got. We got the nice chopper cam following Carson and Lunar around Imola. Like, that was glorious. A beautiful lap there. The broadcast view on this track is pretty good for the most part, except for that race start. That was really bad.
Yeah, I was looking at the back of the freaking...
Yeah, I was watching P20. The front runners were around the bend before, like, I was like, what are you doing? Like...
All right, Say's put in the fastest lap, but Jinnit's closing in on him. Look at this. I wonder if Jinnit's running a slipperier setup. We'll find out here in the more technical part.
Carson all over Lunar, and Zimoglis is putting some pressure on Sam. Got a nice little train forming back here. Sam, Zem, Sniper, all looking to improve their spot. Carson's going for it. Around the outside on Lunar.
Gets it done.
Very, very nicely done. And Carson, I think, just based on the way he closed and was right there, I would think he's the quicker driver now that he's got the... when he's got the position, I'd imagine he'll just pull away for the most part. He probably can kind of go hang with Jinnit and
that would
Say.
be fun. That would...
I could definitely see it happening.
Gortsas coming out of that last chicane there got a little wiggly coming out of the second part of that chicane. Those hard tires are... he's doing fine. He's held on to the position quite well. He's 2 seconds behind Lunar, but Sam is a second and a half, so he's got his cushion. He just needs to settle in now and get those tires as far as he can. He should be able to go to the softs to finish, I would think.
Gord for sure, yeah. Unless the softs are only good for like 3 or 4 laps, but that would be pretty...
Oh, are they?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I haven't practiced either, like I said, so I really don't know. Whoa! It looked like he snapped the back end again a little bit.
I was just saying it might be maybe like they're just totally useless, so people won't bother. But I have noticed this game, it seems that the medium soft strategy works more often than not. So I don't think we've really seen any like severe tire wear tracks.
RC and Private came together a little bit, and nice. Private let RC take the position. They kind of came into contact, and RC had to go a little wide, and Private kind of led up to give him that position.
Yeah, Private also has lost that spot to spot up triples as well now. I wonder if that just maybe
Yeah, he kind of
hurt himself by letting the place go. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's awful hard to
Look at
let
this.
one guy go and
Oh
not...
no, 3 wide into the first real corner. Ay, ay, ay. It's like Sniper hangs on to 7th. Zem P6. Now we're getting some good action here. Sam, it looks like he got passed by both guys, so. Nice battle going on here for P6, and then everybody else starting to spread out a little bit. Nothing too drastic at the moment. Of course, Janet and Say glued together like usual.
Mm-hmm.
Where would we be for the last 2 seasons without those two, really?
Yep. Yeah, since Packer left, that really opened up the door for these guys, and it's been great. I mean, we're in for a treat every week with these two. But actually, the entire field, really.
Yeah, honestly, like even, you know, I'm not shocked that these guys have pulled away, but like the fact that our top, you know, 3, 4, 5 places are also spread out from one another is a little surprising. It's usually not quite like that. So, obviously, with the different strategy Gord's running, Gord's actually in a really good spot with those hard tires right now.
I'm really surprised that Lunar has fallen back as far as he has. He's almost 6 seconds back of the lead. Now, this is your pole sitter, and I mean, it's one thing to get a really fast lap, but
who's that off? That's Zem. No damage, it doesn't look like, so.
Nope, looks good.
Just gonna get those tires sorted and you'll probably be okay. Could use a safety car maybe and help him close back up and get back up to Janet here.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if Lunar is just trying to manage his tires to stretch the life of those and maybe go to the softs to finish. Because there's no way he is that much slow. I mean, we could see it in the qualifying. I mean, his race pace can't be that much different.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit on board with him for half a lap. He does seem to be very gentle. Well, Janet close, but not close enough. He's braking. Like, his steering input is so minimal. It's very smooth, steady.
Yeah.
He's not stomping on the pedal. Like, you're very well could be right there. He might actually just be trying to manage. Because Gord behind isn't really going to put a lot of pressure on hard tires, right? So he's not a huge risk to lose ground. But, you know, really what's... Like, if he has much better tires at the end, Lunar... you know, what's a second, really? A second you can make up easy, right? If you lose a second because you're managing, who cares?
Yeah, particularly with these chicanes. They're just, what is there? Like 3 of them. That could, you can really have an advantage there with the softer compound tire. If you're on the soft tires and everybody else is on the medium to the hards.
I believe Sam had an issue. He's dropped. Maybe give Zem something to do.
Now, Janet's fallen back quite a bit. I mean, he's still in DRS, however.
Yeah, Zem's got someone to race now. Sam's just falling out right in front of him.
Well, the skies have cleared up. I don't know if you've picked up on that, but
yeah.
Maybe we're not going to get any rain.
So Gord now passed by Sniper, so if Lunar is managing, it might be time to turn up the wick a little bit. Maybe he is just struggling. Because he has dropped ground to both those guys.
Oh, we got RC went a little wide into the dirt. Spot up. Oh no, set 5-second penalty for Oh, we have a safety car. Oh no, is Sam out?
Yeah, Sam is out.
Sam is out. Oh no.
Where did that happen?
Zem got a 5-second penalty for contact with Sam, so I didn't see it, but the contact ended up causing Sam his race. And I think Zem might have lost his wing. Yeah, Zem's without a front wing, so he'll be boxing. Oh, he goes wide.
Curious. I imagine it was, well, remember Sam was right in front of Zem, and generally you see those severe collisions happen when someone...
Leaders are in.
Like, the game doesn't really seem to give people penalties unless they're not for, like, you know what I mean, wheel-to-wheel type stuff. It's more of like a you slammed into another car thing. So maybe Sam had a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier, where you can lose the back end and save it. If you're the driver behind and you see that happening, and you think that
Gord
the car is going to continue to... Gord is what? Yeah,
Gord
he stayed out. Yep.
Well, yeah, he was on the hards. Okay.
Yep. I think what can happen is the anticipation that the car that appears to, loses the back end a little bit, instead of letting up because you think that the car can, because the car can save itself. In the past, you just keep right on cruising, and the car in front of you that started to spin would just spin out. And I think that with this newer game where you can actually save that as the driver behind, if you see somebody kind of lose the back end, you got to be aware that they got a good chance of saving it. You can't just expect to dart through there and the car won't be there.
It's a good theory.
No, I don't know if I make any sense, so please tell me if I don't.
No, I actually like that. I was like, that's actually a pretty clever thought you've got there. Just because of like the, like if the last, I don't know, year or so you've been racing and used to cars. Well, every time I see someone do that, I just rip right by them. But not anymore, right?
No, in seasons past as well, we had ghosting on. And so without it on now, you just got to be aware. You just have to be aware that you might see a car kind of lose the back end a little bit, but you can't just drive through. The car is hopefully going to save it. The guy's going to save his car. So I don't know if that's what happened, but that's something I picked up on when the couple times that I almost lost it. I realized as I saved it, the car coming up behind me, I had to stay wide. If I went back to where I wanted to be, I would probably caused a collision. So, and looking in my mirror, I can see that because of what happened to me, the driver behind me was now going to be right beside me. So I had to kind of stay where I was.
Well, I'll tell you one thing it's done is it sort of has given everybody a fair crack at this thing now. We kind of got almost everybody on the same terms, and that should make the race a little more interesting. Anyone who lost ground or had damage can now kind of regain those losses that they inherited. And hopefully they can make the best of it. So
this might help out Janet a little bit. Gortsauce is not slow, right? I mean his tires are significantly older than these other guys, but you can't expect that Say is just going to drive right by him. So there's not necessarily the roadblock, but I think there's the obstruction, I guess, or what's the word I'm looking for? Say just doesn't have a wide open track in front of him. He's got an obstacle. He needs to get around him, and Janet, obviously he knows that. And I think this is Janet's. This is a good chance. There's a good chance that Janet could maybe make something happen here to get by Say.
All right, green flag. We are racing. Gord has put the power down. Say with a lot of wheel spin there as he tried to get the power down. And here comes Carson, the wild card. You were expecting Jinnit to try and get a good jump, and here comes Carson trying to get himself in the mix here. This could get ugly.
Good job by Gord. He protected the inside.
Oh. Yeah, Jinnit and Carson wheel to wheel into the first turn there. Really dicey stuff, but both guys held their line nice.
Eesh. Yeah, I think. Oh no, Gord Sauce went a little wide, and now say he's got the inside, fresher tires, and yeah, man, that was really tough for Gord Sauce to protect.
Jinnit, Jinnit almost went for it on Say there. It looked like he just took a huge shot at it. Saw maybe a door open.
So now you got Gord Sauce on Jinnit's tail, and he's holding on pretty well.
Gord Sauce is sitting duck right now. Looks like he's about to get picked off by Lunar and Sniper. He's in big trouble. Did you mean Carson's right on Jinnit?
That's what I said. I thought.
Oh, okay. I may have heard I may have heard Gord.
Yeah, I could have easily messed that up too. But yeah, no, I meant Carson. Sure. He's been able to hold on. Just as I say that, now he's fallen back a little bit. But if he could stay within that DRS range for another lap and a half.
So Lunar gets by Gord. Jinnit did not have a look there, so he'll tuck in. It looks like they may both be running a slippery setup because they really pulled away from Carson once they got down that main straight. And Carson is closing back in again now.
Yeah.
So maybe Carson is more of a grippy setup, whereas Jinnit and Say are trying to run slippery. I mean, even that's sort of a little poker match every week, eh? Like a little chess game you play with your rivals. You know, oh, so-and-so likes to run like this, so I'm going to do the opposite this week and see if I can trick him. And then maybe that week he decides to switch it up.
Well, I mean, Jinnit used to do that on a weekly basis. He would always go with the reverse strategy. Oh, Gord Sauce got a 3-second penalty. But in the last 2, 3, 4 seasons, he has not been doing that. That's not been in his arsenal of tricks.
I find it generally is like if he's at the back, you can almost guarantee he's going to do it. But if you qualify at the front, you need to just give yourself the best chance to be at the front of the field, right? So.
Yep.
And Gord's just dropping like a stone here. You know, it's one of those things where you think it's a clever idea, but grip is king in this game, and if you're 10 laps less grip, like there's almost no way you're going to avoid it. Now
Lunar's caught up to Carson.
So that's probably the one observation I've taken from this game this year is that trying to run these sneaky strategies where like you're on the wrong tire with the grip level compared to everyone else, it does seem to hurt. It's just not paying off. Like the grip difference is so present, you know.
Yeah. I don't know what was happening to Spot Up, but man, he got overtaken quickly by RC. Ow. And Gord Sauce is really slipping and sliding.
Lunar by Carson. Yeah, I suppose if there's another safety car, Gord, I mean, really, he's just lost his track position at this point, right? Like,
yeah.
He was what, P5? He would have been better off just. Here's the other problem though, is he can't take those mediums to the end from here. So maybe it's not. Honestly, like it sounds silly, but I didn't even really think of the aspect of the fact that you're not getting to the end on the mediums anyways. So why pit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though we're sitting here criticizing him.
I don't think we really should, because I think you touched upon just that. I think he was stuck. He was damned if he did, and he was damned if he didn't. I mean, the only thing he could have done if he had another set of hards was pit and get on a new set of hard tires. But otherwise, yeah, if whatever he did, he was going to be on a tire that was not going to get him to the end. Spot up looking to pass Gord now.
Yeah, it's a nice little battle going on at the back here, and we got two nice little scraps at the front as well. Now Zamaglis has pit. Why did he do that? Did he pick up more damage, or is he thinking maybe just like
notice.
get on some fast tires and go to the end?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm just picking up on that as well as you were saying it.
I mean, he's in the points already, so he doesn't have a ton to lose, really. Villeneuve won't count, right?
Okay, yep. So here's, you know, in seasons past, not necessarily last season, but, you know, 2-3 seasons ago and beyond that, there was always, you know, it was either Packer or it was Dylan, but the leader was always driving away. This year and last year, like you touched upon with Chinnett and Say, you know, they're always right together. But we've been treated really for 2 seasons now with battles for the lead throughout the race.
Yeah.
Where we didn't have that in the past. Or not as often. I mean, I don't know. Man, to be Say right now, I'd be like, geez, I'm Crow Chinnett, please leave me alone.
Yeah. Do you ever just take a night off? Do you ever just come not totally prepared to win? You ever come just like 80% of yourself? Never.
Nope. And it's awfully hard to drive like with somebody like Chinnett behind you, or just anybody that close to you. I mean, you want to focus. Oh, and Chinnett just got a 3-second penalty. Ooh.
Yeah, that's rough. He has to do something now.
Yeah, you don't want to be. You want to be focused on going forward, and if you're trying to do both, that's when you can make a mistake. And so I you know, my hat's off to him. He's been able to pretty much drive mistake-free with Chinnett right on his butt. And, you know, Chinnett keeps getting DRS, too. And this time he's got him. Wow. I wonder if Say's listening to me and he just said, okay, maybe he's right. Maybe I'll let Chinnett go by and maybe he'll make the mistake.
Yeah, I suppose. Like, that's... GP's on his game tonight. He's coming up with all the racing theories. Well, all these thoughts that just thinking outside the box tonight, GP. I'm on board with this. How do I bring this guy out every week?
Oh, we have
just talk about Senna for a bit before the race starts.
I think Carson had a problem here.
Yeah, he did. He was off the road there. You can see his Red Bull. He actually looks like his floor might be damaged, but I don't think we have that on. So.
Almost seemed like Spot Up, like just kind of
let him
by.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe that's why Carson was a little off the track there. Maybe there was a...
Spot Up wasn't anywhere near him, though, was he?
I don't know. I saw that there was a yellow, and by the time I got over there, all I could see was that Carson had regained it and then easily passed Spot Up. So right. I don't know. So Chinnett with the fastest lap, and he is now starting to assert his speed. His what's the word I'm looking for? His
dominance.
Gritty.
His dominance, or
well, yeah. Whoa, a little slippery there.
Unrelenting pace. Yeah, that was a big wobble.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, here you go, though. You put him, like you said, like he may be a better driver when he's right behind you. You let him go in front, now the pressure's on him. Maybe that works out better.
Yeah,
he makes that mistake that puts him on the grass, and he's out of your hair for a bit.
Yeah, but Say needs to prove to to Jinnit that he's not going anywhere. If Jinnit keeps seeing that he starts to, a tenth here, a tenth there, and next thing you know, he's nearly out of DRS, then he'll feel good about himself. But say he seems to be holding on, and you got another DRS section here. Having a look. Just letting them know I'm here, Janet. I'm still here.
Yeah.
And
he
the other thing
probably could have tried there. He was pretty close. I think he was just not ready to push it.
One thing that I find is that if you are trying to keep somebody behind you, I've been apt to brake too late, compromise my corner entrance and exit and everything, and lose out that way. So when you are in front, and you're trying to keep somebody behind you, that's one of the things that I have to deal with. It's like, don't try to go so fast that you take yourself out of the proper line.
Yeah, basically, like, he still has to find a way by you. Don't give him anything cheap.
Right. Don't overdrive. Don't overthink it. Just keep hit your marks. And when we get to this point here, say, hey, still within half a second. I think last lap he was 3.5, maybe 4 tenths behind. So basically the same. And Lunar, I think Lunar has brought that gap. Oh, and there goes Seiya. He's got him.
Yep. Whoa.
And yeah, you see, Seiya was a little late on the brakes there. He could not get through the chicane the way he wanted to. And Lunar's brought that, I think it was almost 3 seconds. He's down to 2.2 now. And these guys battling in front of him, that's only going to help his cause.
Alpine looking pretty strong here, too. He said Carson spun on his own. This is what Jordan said. I guess that's Griffin. I'm guessing that's Big Toblerone. Probably Toblerone. He said, Carson spun on his own. But yeah, the Alpine's doing pretty good here. Sniper and RC 4 and 5. Like, that'd be big points for them if they can hang on to that. And I would imagine they will. Spot up triple shouldn't be too much of a problem on 11-lap-old mediums. I'd imagine he's gonna have to pit again. If not, then he won't really be a threat at all. Carson could be a problem.
So in that vein, Sniper and RC are up 6 places and 8 places respectively.
Comes Janet again. No, he's through. Okay, so we're doing the leapfrog thing.
And if they keep doing that, again, Lunar has a chance to join them. Oh, Gortsar's another penalty. Let's see, what do we got for penalties here? 3 seconds for Janet, 3 seconds for RC, 6 seconds for Villeneuve, Gordsauce with 6, and Zem with 3. This is our closest battle. I want to go back and see some of these other guys, give them some time here, but I mean, our nearest battle towards the back is Carson, who's 1.3 seconds behind a spot up. Everybody else is even further back, so sorry guys, I'm gonna go back to the front.
Yeah, I think Seiya's got this thing under control for the most part. His battery's in much better shape. Jinnit has that penalty. It just really doesn't look like Jinnit's going to be able to shake him. And we're running out of time. He's got about 8 laps to get rid of Seiya. Seiya going to take the lead again. So now Jinnit really, maybe like kind of do what you were saying. Just sit behind Seiya. Don't overtake him. And try to make him make a mistake, and maybe he picks up a time penalty.
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, these two right now, they both got to be thinking, what is it I got to do here if I want to win this race? they've already proven that they can play leapfrog pretty well. And they've just not been able to pull away either. So either one of them has to make a mistake. Another safety car maybe forcing everybody to pit.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Well, let's see if leapfrog game continues. Yep. So, much like you pointed out, Janet's got 11% of battery life left, and Sayeg's at 54. And I don't think Sayeg's really using much at all.
No, he's really on top of it. He must be consciously making the effort to make sure he leaves himself some.
History shows that he is really good at preserving his battery.
And Gordsauce is out. Was that in the pits? It looks like it was.
Yeah, it looks like he's in the pits.
Not his day.
Too bad. Started out promising, but so Janet's back in front. Surprise, surprise. And Luna's
honestly, I can't remember who was there last lap either. So it's back and forth, back and forth,
back and forth. Yeah, and but Luna's still hovering there. He's like two seconds back. Really, I mean, these two in front of him, if they get into a situation where they are trying to make the overtake, like here, and nope, they get by, where they end up having to slow down because they're side. Oh, was that?
That was bad.
That was close, huh?
Yeah, that was Gord's DNF car, eh?
I thought
that's what it was. But there's no ghosting on, so they could have hit it, man. That was his car that he DNF'd, and it just drove itself out of the pits, right? So that's another thing we need to consider about retiring in the pits as well, with the ghosting on. Like, we need to make sure that the drivers are aware of that, eh? Like, if you see someone on the road ahead of you.
And he saved it. He saved it, but there goes Lunar.
And there it is. There's the mistake. And with the penalty, I mean, it's all but over now.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how many, I mean, maybe Sayeg's sitting on a couple warnings as well, but yeah, so Lunar all of a sudden now is P2, no penalties. Sayeg is kind of sitting comfortably now. He doesn't need to be looking in his mirror so much anymore. That Janet's got to be seething. That was a self-inflicted wound.
Yeah, he was...
And it happened right where we were talking about earlier, that the game has improved so that there weren't any spin-outs there.
Mm-hmm.
That right-hander uphill with the quick, subtle left there. Yeah, it was right at that crest where he turned left a little bit and he spun sideways. But he was able to save it. He didn't even go all the way around. He just kind of slid sideways off the track a little bit and came back on.
Yeah, it was probably the fact that he slid off onto the grass more than anything, right? If it was tarmac there, he'd probably been... Probably still P2, I would think.
So suddenly we have spot up triples. He wants to have a conversation with Carson, but Carson's like, no, leave me alone. And Spot Up says, well, I'm within DRS, dude. You'll be talking to me soon.
Yeah, it's weird, eh? Like, something else we've noticed too is that once both tires get to a certain life of a certain wear level, it seems like they sort of balance out a little bit, because we've seen this where guys are on the softer compound deep in the race and both tires are kind of past their prime, and then the softer compound kind of comes back to life.
Weird.
It is weird. It's a strange game. Like if people were listening to us talk about these things, I said, I bet you could build them into your race strategy and you could pull it off, like make some sneaky moves, right? Because like it's working for Spot Up
Yeah.
right now. But
Yeah,
they're
so
just patterns. They're patterns that I've noticed, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, this is our 5th race of the season. Like, I mean, starting to notice things now, right?
So looking up at the lead here, so Lunar was, after the incident with Jennett, well, not the incident with Jennett, but after Jennett spun, Lunar was 2.5 seconds behind Seye. So has something happened to Seye? Does he have damage or something? No, his wing looks fine.
Yeah, maybe tire management. Possibly. Battery battle is favoring Seye by a fair margin, but
Yeah.
when you make the pass on the last lap, it might be the only one that counts. So we could have a drag race to the finish line at this track,
Yeah,
actually.
potentially.
The way that their overtakes have been happening right at that. I guess they get enough of a run. Yeah, there might be.
Yeah, Lunar's just going to have to start saving his battery. Oh, Lunar just got a 3-second penalty. Oh, man. All right, Lunar just play for second now, I guess.
Yeah, Jennett's not really a problem behind now, so. I've seen Jennett go quicker, but I wouldn't let Lunar shouldn't let off the gas too much, but he doesn't really need to push anymore.
Right, yeah. I mean, maybe if there were another 8 laps more than what we have now, you know, maybe he can get close and force Seye into potential mistake. But
whoa! Did you see that save? Lunar was slipping all over the place through that chicane there.
Oh, nope, I did not, and I can see that he did lose quite a bit of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a big snap. Probably that spot where people were spinning last year, and he just caught it there. Pretty good race overall. It kind of fizzled out at the end there, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. Been a pretty entertaining season so far.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I think that this new game, I mean, we've talked about this before, and we talked about it tonight, the fact that you can save a car if you start to spin. I think that that's really improved the racing. I mean, if you start to spin in the pass, you're out, basically. But, you know, Jennett, he spun, and he only lost 1 position. However, that 1 position cost him 3 points to Seye. I didn't check out the standings. I forgot to do that before the race. I'm sure it's close. Actually, I got time. What do we got for standings here? Tier 1 standings. Gotta put the bifocals on. Or the single focals. After Monza, let's see. Jennett, Jennett had a 21-point lead over Seye. So Jennett is in first with 89. Seye is in second with 68. Carson is in third with 45. Wreck Diver, who is not here tonight, 37. Gord Sauce in 5th with 32. Lunar Jedi in 6th with 18. Spot Up with 17. Spin and Win, 15. Zem, 14. And Sniper rounds out the top 10 with 14. Then you got Scavney, Quaminator, Damn Sam, Adri, Private, T-Money, RC, and Rockstar. All have points. Mr. Joshua, Extra City, Rex, and Asylum, who has not made a race yet, have yet to score a point.
Asylum said 100% he'd be here next week, so
Gonna hold him to it.
Better hold him to it. Maybe a third of the season by that point. You better show up.
I don't live far away. I'll go fucking kick his door down and say, plug that game in. Let's go.
Drive over there at 7:30.
Yep.
I see you're home. I know you're home. I know you're home. I see you're playing Call of Duty. Why aren't you in here racing?
Oh no, Lunar got a 3 second. No, oh, wait a minute here. What do we got? Is that Lunar second?
Yeah.
penalty. Ooh,
And I think
now,
Janet made another mistake. It looks like something may have happened. 6 seconds off now.
yeah, but all right. So Lunar's still safe. He's got 6 seconds, but Janet's got 3 as well. So, well, alrighty then. We're on our last lap. You know, all in all, Lunar fell back quite a bit after the first 2 or 3 laps. Fell back, I think, to 4th, maybe even 5th, but certainly 4th. After having 1 pole, and so for him, this is. I'd be happy. You know, you didn't take pole to the victory lane, but you got 2nd. And Janet's going to be like, what could have been? And say he's like, I'm tired.
Well, that's it. Say wins it. Lunar Jedi will bring it home in P2. Janet will pick up a podium. Sniper brings it home in 4th. Nice drive for Sniper and RC. I brought it home in 5th. RC finally does the job. Been a while since RC had a decent result, so that's good.
I think that, man, I don't want to. Oh, that's Janet's Ferrari there.
Yeah, someone's trying. Someone will get them.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh, I missed that. That was fun when guys would come in and clean them out. Let's go. Who do we get coming across here? Zem.
Zem will get them.
Zem, you can do it. Together. Oh. Come on. We got one. Villeneuve, you listening? Stay to the right-hand side of the track.
Janet's so far beyond the line that I don't think anybody can point themselves right at him.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was close. He was the closest. I think he must have heard us, too. Actually, yeah, there's a bit of a delay between what they're doing and what we hear, so probably not.
Yeah, there's probably 8
RC driver of the day. I'm posting that in the Discord.
Hey, we're done in almost record time. Look at that. According to my clock, it's only 17 after 9 Eastern.
Yeah, that's not too bad for 2 safety cars. You got some questions lined up there, GP?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why'd you do that? Why didn't you do this? No, I have no questions. I just wing it.
All right. That's what I thought.
You can't tell?
No, I could tell.
I do the best I can to remember things that happened during the race, but I'm so into trying to watch everybody that, the eventual race winner, a lot of times it's like, oh, geez, I really didn't pay much attention. But I guess after 4 seasons, people kind of understand what they're going to get with me.
RC started 13th, eh? Look at that. How's that for a drive? Have a day.
Yeah, and spot up as well. Private, a lot of guys moved up. Villeneuve even.
Say Lunar and Janet. There we go. That's a good little podium interview. Wow, pleasant.
Pardon me.
Excuse me. Pardon me. I feel like my voice held up all right.
Oh, you did fine.
Yeah, it was really rough this morning, man. I really didn't think I'd be... I guess I can just, get away with not talking much at work because most of the day I just leave things on people's porches.
All right.
Lord Lunar.
Well, Janet comes to join us. He'll be able to go to bed early because he's 3rd on the podium rather than 1st, so he saved himself 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh, the hell did I do that? I sent Gord Sauce an invite for some reason.
Yeah, Lunar, Say and Janet.
What up?
How's it going, Lunar?
I feel like I haven't been here in so long. Oh my god.
Now, I recognize your voice. It hasn't been that long.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I accidentally invited Gord, and I don't know how to remove him. So if he joins, we'll just.
Oh, well, good. Yeah, good. We got some. He's got
You
some
can walk us
explaining
through
to
his
do.
strategy. Yeah. I want to know too.
Yeah,
I
there you
mean,
go.
it
Lunar,
would have worked
feel
without a
free,
safety
Lunar.
car.
What was that?
I think Gord's strategy would have worked without a safety car.
Yeah. But the thing is, I love the alternate strategy, but this season there's always a safety car at the wrong time. Like the first race in Britain, I was on the alternate strategy and the safety car messed up my thing so bad. It's just I refuse to start a race on the hard tires anymore.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I can't really see starting on hard tire. That's tough. All right, so we got Say, Lunar. We got. Do you think Janet's coming? He hasn't missed any interview opportunities.
No, he usually
The
shows
Brit.
up.
And if Gord Sauce comes in, let's let Lunar interview Gord. What do you think?
Why? Oh, because he wants to know about the strategy.
Yeah, why
Fair
not?
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, happy to.
Well, GP, it's
Sub it.
it's your show in the podium interview, so you do whatever you want.
All right.
You have creative control.
Yeah, well, without creativity. All right, Lunar. Geez, are you disappointed? I mean, you got the pole position, but I think you lost that right out of the gate at the lights out, and Say got the better jump on you. So, you disappointed in that respect?
No, actually, not at all. Honestly, pole was like fun. It's been a horrible start to the season, and especially that first one was also really bad. So like my confidence was falling. Genesee just gapping, then Carson overtaking, and then my tires were just not working. The car felt so different. It was so bad. I was like, damn, maybe this game isn't my game. Like it's not meant to be. And then the hard tires did, it really gave me confidence because Say and Jinnit were basically helping each other with DRS and everything. Like to be able to still maintain like within that 3 second gap at the end of the race to be second, not even third, like I'm more than happy to take it.
Yeah. Big and I were, as we were watching the battle between Say and Jinnit with you behind them, I was like, geez, man, Lunar just wants these guys. Because I don't know if you could tell, but Say and Jinnit just kept basically playing leapfrog from like lap 23 on. And, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, I'll close the gap on the track, and then the straight just gets them ahead of what we started the lap on, and then it just repeats. So instead of like maybe gaining 2 or 3 tenths in a lap, I'll net gain maybe like a tenth at best, and that's if it's a perfect lap for me. And as soon as Jinnit spun, and it was just me and Say, I was able to close the gap a bit more. But then obviously Say pulled out his DRS or proper tire saving, whatever it was, and then it like stabilized. It just felt really good to have similar-ish taste of both of them.
Yeah, this is a secret, so don't tell anybody. Say is really good with saving his battery.
It's not a secret anymore.
I you guys on CODs. I know he had no reason to use it. As soon as Jinnit got his penalty, I mean, like, why on earth would you use your DRS unless he starts going out of like the 3 second? And he was like exchanging. Did you use battery after saving?
So as they were
like where?
Like towards the end of the race?
Toward the end? Yeah, I think my tires just clicked a bit more, and then, I definitely started using battery more. I had 60 something left.
Okay.
So as we were watching this unfold in front of us with you in third, Lunar, my thought was, okay, Say and Jenna just playing leapfrog, and Becca and I are like, well, this is like lap after lap. And I was like, what you needed was for there to be a little bit more of a battle going into that first turn after the front straight DRS. And it just never played out. It just, they were able to overtake each other with relatively comfortably. There was one time I thought Say on the pass was kind of went a little deep, and it compromised his left turn, right turn, and then exit. So, but yeah, that's what you really needed. But I agree, the fact that they were getting the DRS, they were just able to kind of, and the way they would, it worked out for them. You couldn't catch them.
I'd never expect to say and Jin to work together in a race. Like, I just thought like they'll fight more and more and the gap will close. But no, they were using like proper esports techniques. The first and second place guy keep swapping positions because they net gain at the end of the lap. Just like, come on, guys, fight a bit, please.
So, well, Lunar, here's the wonderful thing. They didn't crash each other out or create an incident report because they are always so darn close to each other that inevitably there's a little bit of contact. Never egregious. It just happens. And tonight, it didn't. I mean, it's just great. Again, I was talking to Big about that. The battles that we've had at the front, we have not had this great 1 through 5 competition at the top in years past. Maybe the last 2 or 3 seasons, it's really begun to pick up. But it's been fantastic. So congratulations, pole position. I wish we can give you a point for that. But still, P2. That's good.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Well, congrats. So let's go to the race winner, Say A. Wake
Hello.
up. Wake up. Stop playing NBA 2K23. Congratulations, Say. Oh my God, what a battle with you and Janet. You guys were almost never out of DRS of each other.
I wish one of us was, but man, during that final stint, we did not want to stay separated for that long. My God, Lunar had pace that he just got out of nowhere. We were like, what the fuck? Where do you get this? Like, we couldn't get anything out of those hard tires. Well, I couldn't. I don't know about Janet, but no, we struggled on that hard stint. Couldn't get the tires clicking, but eventually we worked together, I guess, to try to keep a gap because Janet had his 3 seconds. I'm pretty sure he's smart enough to know that. Yeah, I'm gonna try to help. I'm gonna cooperate with Stay to keep a gap to Lunar behind. So
some kind of rivalry, huh?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We put it aside when we know we're both in danger.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just going to pick a lap. It was roughly, we'll say, around lap 24 or so, that you and Janet really started to get into the leapfrog back and forth. And so Big and I were talking, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm asking Janet, Big, I'm like, what do you do? As one of those 2 drivers, I assume at that point you start trying to come up with a strategy where if we're going to keep leapfrogging, what do I need to do to get the upper hand for that last lap? So was that something that was going through your mind as that started to unfold?
I mean, it was honestly about keeping the car on track and not getting a warning, because during the second safety car, I saw Janet's race director, he had 2 warnings, so I just had to keep my composure, which I definitely wasn't. I sold those final laps, but it was definitely like, just lock in, put in the laps, and just like make it to the end on these tires.
So throughout the first half of the race, it seemingly, Janet was right on your butt, and again, I was commenting to Big, it's like I wouldn't, that's awful hard to drive with somebody so close behind you all the time, where you have to focus on hitting your marks, but you also have to be aware of the guy behind you. How was that really kind of playing with your mind at all, or were you just looking forward, or how did that play out for you?
I mean, I definitely saw him in my rearview mirror. It was a familiar sight. It's great, but
Yeah, it
we've
was.
seen that we've seen that all too long. But it's definitely like it's 50-50. Like you want to stay ahead, like maintain the battery at the same time, but then like he's there. He's there. He's constantly there, and you don't want to make a mistake to the point where you both end up in the gravel or a wall. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
your responsibility to keep it on track because he's that close behind. We both go out if I'm the one spinning.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
like, yeah, it's just like it's a mental game.
well, you shown us that you have that mental toughness, because I don't know what I would do with Janet behind me all the time like that. That would, you know, it's a lot of stress that I probably couldn't deal with. So excellent. Kudos to you for being able to deal with that and not making the mistake. Unfortunately, not that anybody wanted to see it. Janet had that little slip, saved it, only dropped one position, let you breathe a lot easier, and I'm sure Luna felt pretty good about regaining at least one position. But all in all, great race, you guys. 9:30 Eastern. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to pass it over to Arbiga. And congrats, guys.
All right, guys, great job. Thanks for joining for the interviews. We'll wrap it up for this week. That's round 5 in the books. We're going to Imola for Tier 2 Wednesday night, 8 p.m. And next week we are off to Hungary. You can tune in to the end of the stream, and you can see me do a quick little lap around Hungary and while GP is hosting interviews. Also a few donuts. First attempt, miserable. Second attempt, near perfection. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week. Wednesday night, don't forget Tier 2. They've had some really good races so far as well, so quality's there in both tiers, and yeah, should be a great season. We're just about to approach the 1/3 mark, so round 6 goes next week. See you then. Have a great night.
See you, boys. Great job.
All right.
See
See
you,
ya.
Bigga.
Thanks, GP. Thanks, Big.
See ya.
You bet.
Thanks.